Donald Trump is accusing the father of a slain Muslim American soldier of viciously attacking him. Trump tweeted that even as Khizr Khan and Ghazala Khan were doing an interview, while they were live on television, he was tweeting on CNN. Here is part of Khan's appeal to Trump during that CNN interview.
A good leader has one trait. Earlier, I said empathy. I probably right now will misspell it, but it is basic character, realizing, feeling the pains, the difficulties of the people that you wish to lead, and that is missing. Donald Trump needs to sit with his advisors and portray to this world that he is empathetic.
Well, some of Trump's fellow Republicans are saying his comments during this feud are a step too far. Republican Senator and former Vietnam prisoner of war John McCain said, "I cannot emphasize enough how deeply I disagree with Mr. Trump's statement. I hope Americans understand that the remarks do not represent the views of our Republican Party, its officers, or candidates." Let's get reaction to this controversy surrounding Trump and the Khan family. A Trump supporter, Carl Higbie, joins me now from New York. He's the spokesman for the Great American PAC for Donald Trump and also a former U.S. Navy SEAL. Thanks for joining us. So as a former member of the military, are you okay with what Donald Trump has said about the family of this fallen soldier?
Well, I think what this is a political rhetoric gone amok, and I think that, you know, what Mr. Khan did not understand is when you step on a stage and you stand on the death of your son and use it as political rhetoric, just like the Republicans have been attacked for doing it, he's going to get attacked. And I think what he said was, you know, being used as a pawn by the Democratic Party, which never really has cared much for the military families.
But why was he used as a pawn? He's allowed to speak of the death of his son and say that he's offended by what Mr. Trump has said. It's his right.
It is absolutely his right.
Why does that mean he's being used as a pawn?
Well, I think that, look, the Clinton campaign found, yeah, you're right, but the Clinton campaign found one of less than a dozen U.S. Muslim soldiers that have died in Iraq. Why didn't they pull up one of the, I don't know, other 4,000 dead families? Why did it have to be a Muslim?
But I guess the question is, why not use the Muslim parents of a fallen soldier? What's the problem with that?
Because they don't represent the majority of the fallen. And if they really cared about the troops, rather than their own political agenda of the pro-Muslim rhetoric that the Democratic Party has been pushing despite the
wars, in fact, also issued a statement saying, election year or not, the VFW will not tolerate anyone berating a Gold Star family member for exercising his or her right of free speech of expression. How do you react to the Veterans of Foreign Wars statement?
Well, I'll address that after I address John McCain, the former Democrat who had the worst VA scandal in history in his home state, yet nobody got fired. Does John McCain look out for veterans? I don't think so. And as Veterans of Foreign War, I think, you know, what they should do is they should attack. If they're going to attack, they need to attack both sides. They need to be heavy on Hillary Clinton with her emails, and they heavy on Hillary Clinton with the Benghazi thing. I see a disproportionate amount of people come out against Donald Trump, especially in the media, than they are against Hillary Clinton.
But this is not the question, the disproportionate amount in your view, which, by the way, is not reflected on our air. But the thing that Donald Trump last summer said about John McCain also ruffled some feathers, saying he's not a war hero. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people who weren't captured. I mean, I guess this is, for those who criticize Donald Trump's statements on the military, they're saying he only respects the military when those military members happen to agree with his politics.
Well, let's look at the proportionality of who's given what to military causes. I mean, Donald Trump is the reason the Veterans Day Parade still exists in New York City. Donald Trump's been a friend of veterans. He's donated $6 million during the course of his campaign to veterans. How much has Hillary Clinton really raised and done for veterans?
Right. Well, that's not that's not the question. I'm asking you to react to what Donald Trump said about John McCain. John McCain, again, responding today to what Donald Trump said about the Khan family, not who donated how much to veterans' causes.
Well, I'm a little confused then. You said if Donald Trump is not a friend of veterans, I don't believe that anybody is, if that's the criteria for it.
Well, no, he's criticized the Khan family, and he's also criticized John McCain, who's a recognized war hero.
Yeah, so the thing is, if someone takes a swing at Donald Trump, he's not been known ever to stand down. He always hits back. So if you don't want to get hit back by Donald Trump, don't take a swing at him. Look, if you step on the political stage, I don't care what affiliation you are, Republican or Democrat, if you hit, expect to get hit back, especially by Donald Trump.
So one of the things as well that Donald Trump kept repeating was this is about radical Islam. I guess my question is, what does the Khan family have to do with radical Islam?
Well, I think what happened is the Khan family was brought onto that stage because of Donald Trump's comments regarding the Muslim ban. And they said that, their son would not have gotten to serve. And you're right. If that ban had been in place 30, 40 years ago, then the Khan family would not have been allowed, or the son of Mr. Khan would not have been allowed to serve. That is correct. But also, that's less than a dozen people that would have been not allowed to serve in this U.S. military that have died as Muslims. So I think that the overall
thing... So you're okay with the 12 people not serving if it means putting a Muslim ban up? You think it's a good idea?
If it means protecting the United States, absolutely. I would sacrifice letting 12 people serve during a conflict that's killed almost 4,000. Yeah, I would say that if we are going to... And look, Donald Trump has since refined that. He said, look, countries where Muslim extremism is coming from, to include France and Germany right now.
You're okay with French and German immigration being limited into the United States, as well as immigration from all Muslim
heavily
countries?
Scrutinized. No, heavily
and all
scrutinized.
Countries that have... Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Carl Higbee, a Trump supporter, for joining us from New York. We really appreciate your time. Thanks for being on CNN. We'll have a lot more on this story and, of course, what's happening in Syria. Syrian rebel fighters are trying to break the government siege of Aleppo, but it's a tall order. The UN is warning of a possible disaster for the hundreds of thousands of people trapped inside. We'll look at the desperate situation in that embattled city coming up next.
Listen up for an amazing offer that can change the way you hear.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Frustrated with your hearing?
What did he say?
Well, hear better now. Introducing the fully